Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric, and I'm with my co-host Trevor.
What's happening? What's shaking?
And we are the two hosts of the From the Bench podcast. So nice for you guys all to join us. We talk about football. We talk about hockey. Talk about a little bit of everything. We'll dabble in the basketball, not college basketball though. I get Trevor all worked up about that before the pod. But
So true.
But a little bit of everything, but mainly just hockey and football. But gonna get right into it. The big trade. We had a big trade today. It is Patrick Laine for Pierre Luc Dubois. There's a couple other pieces. Jack Roslovic going from Winnipeg over to Columbus. A third-round pick going back the other way from Columbus over to Winnipeg. But obviously, it's the two big names, right? It's Laine, it's Dubois. So it's those are the two big guys. So
one was taken after the other.
Exactly, it's second and third
Two
overall.
and three. Exactly.
in the Matthews draft, right?
Correct.
The numbers look a lot worse than what they are because if you look at the career total since they get drafted, it's like 80 some points or 90 some points difference. The thing is though is Dubois didn't play in his rookie year, and in the last 2 years I think they're only separated by like 3 points. So they're right there neck and neck with each other. But I just want to get Trevor's first reaction on the trade.
Fucking love the trade. Boys, I love the trade for Winnipeg. They had to give up two guys, but first of all, what was it? Jack Roslovic? Was it Roslovic? Sorry.
Yep.
2015, their first round draft pick, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to sign with them. I have no idea what happened there, why he was sour. I don't know if he wanted to be further up the lineup, but last time I checked, you got to work your way up there. You know what I mean?
You sure do.
You're not given anything, so they trade him away with Laine, which a lot of people thinks, that he's the big piece, like he's the guy. Personally, myself, I find the premium center, like a really good center, is hard to find. You got to draft them basically, and they don't grow on trees. Where I find you can find wingers easier. Especially guys who can score. And we'll just say wingers, period. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter their skill. So, I was kind of hoping they would get more than the third with the trade. But for Winnipeg, yes, with Dubois. But it is what it is, and it's better to get a third than to get nothing else. So, I like the trade for both teams, but I really like it for Winnipeg because, like I just said, now they're looking at having Mark Scheifele.
Yeah, as your number one, and Dubois behind
Pierre
him.
Luc Dubois, number two, and then you throw in Adam Lowry, who's no slouch.
No, throw him in third.
Who's really come on so far this year. He's looked really good for them. So, and then I think you just scoot Paul Stastny, who they just traded for this offseason, over to the wing on the second line, and voila. And then, even if you do get in some injuries do happen, you got another guy. You can go back to Paul Stastny. You can throw him anywhere up and down the lineup. So, I really like this trade, and he signed a 2-year bridge deal. But I'm just hoping Winnipeg can get him at a reasonable number afterwards, and that he's willing to stay there because that'd be, for you Winnipeg fans, kick ass.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I love it. I love it, Eric, honestly. And I think it gives – I really think what's his name? Jack Roslovic? I know I'm struggling with his name there.
Yeah.
I really think he at his best potential, he's a top 9 forward, I think. I don't know if he can ever get to that number 2 center.
No.
Honestly, I think in a perfect world he's a number 3. But we'll see. I'm really disappointed with that. But what do you do?
Well, that's just
and Laine wanted out too. So
that's just some players, right?
Out.
So Laine, obviously, he came off, was awesome in his rookie year. Second year, he finished. He was trying to compete with Ovi for the scoring title. Third year comes out, the guy lights it up for like 18 goals in November of that year. So he's just like off to the races. You're like, holy crap! Like this guy. It's probably the best scorer that Winnipeg has seen since Laine, and then he scored 9 goals from November until the end of the year. So finished with 27.
And looked horrible. Didn't play good defensively. Didn't look like he gave a shit about anything.
No.
His effort was horrible.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I love the trade for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Because they're getting a two-way forward.
And with Laine too, you're talking about somebody that's what it's the defensive end of the zone of the ice there. That's where he's really struggled with a lot of it, and that's been
We'll give him credit. He looked better last year.
Yeah.
But we need to see that every fucking year coming forward here.
Guess what? You're about to see it because Torts isn't going to put up with. You've seen how Torts handle situations, right? And that was the big thing. A lot of people made a big deal about it the other day. Obviously, Torts goes and he benches Dubois after 3 minutes in the first. And it's because if you watch the video,
What
Dubois,
a joke, though.
Yeah, but Dubois goes out and he's not even playing. He goes
Was
out.
it James Harden?
Oh yeah, he was out there. He's like barely playing.
Lollygagging?
Oh, he goes out. He's trying to like fight for the puck, and he's like looking like a peewee kid out there trying to get the puck. Or it's like you watch some of the kids. If we're going to watch like Cody and Melissa, if we're going to watch the kids' games, and you see the one kid that's just like, I don't want to be out there, and he's just like, I'm going to swing my stick so mom and dad see that I'm swinging my stick. That's what Dubois was doing the other day. And so Torres is like, look, if this is a team game, if you don't want to play, get out of here. You're not playing in this game. So he gave him the yank, and I think that's the proper way to handle it. This is a shortened season. You can't waste opportunities. And if you got one guy out there that's not going to go in and forecheck or not going to play right, then you take him out. Now, that being said, Dubois obviously doesn't play like that most times, obviously for whatever reason. And obviously Torts gives people tough loving. Some people can, handle that. Some people can't. So you got to kind of, weigh it back and forth. But Torts is going to want Laine to play defense. So now we got to see if Laine actually wants to do that whole thing called playing the defense. So,
and I'm pretty sure this is his last year of his contract. I'm imagining he's still restricted after the end of the year, but I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure it was only a 2-year deal. And this is the second year of that.
I think
I'm positive.
This would be it. This would be the second year. So
like Winnipeg, you just got a guy who's signed up for this year and next.
Yeah.
So you're still winning that because,
same
I don't know.
Dubois.
I'd rather pay the center.
And that's, and that's a lot of reason why people said, is that why the Leafs took Matthews? Because he was a center, right? And Laine's a winger. Obviously centers have more value. When you talk about the best players in the league, typically you go center first. Ovi is the one that kind of sneaks in there all the time, past a couple of these other guys. But obviously it's
Patrick Kane. There's some wingers out there.
Yeah, exactly. But, usually it's the McDavids.
They're just harder to find premium centers. Is all we're saying.
Exactly. Right?
Or I'm saying, anyways.
And that's what they talked about for Winnipeg today. So I think it's a good trade. It's weird both ways because I don't know if Dubois is going to want to stay in Winnipeg either. Like, I feel like this guy's going to want to be in a big market, right? Like, that's why a lot of people had him going over to Montreal because he want to go back to Montreal. He's obviously, from Quebec, go back to Quebec, live that high lifestyle, live that. You ain't getting a fancy lifestyle in Winnipeg. I don't care what anybody says, but so it's weird to see. But they got 2 years to try to really convince him to be like, hey man, look, this is where you want to stay. This is where you want to, we want you to win here with us. And they got to do some convincing. It's the same as Columbus, right? Columbus has to do a bunch of convincing.
He's
too.
Staying.
Yeah.
Oh, Laine will stay. They just need to show him the money. That's all that boy cares about.
Well, even him, he didn't want to stay in the other markets either, right? Like he didn't want to stay in Winnipeg, and he said obviously Winnipeg's not a super desirable area. You're out in the middle of nowheres. It's not a big market. It's a Canadian market, so you can get the exposure that way, but it's still.
But saying
still
that,
different.
they do have guys that signed, like Scheifele signed.
Yep.
Kyle Connor signed this past year.
Yep.
Wheeler's committed for years as well. So did Blake Wheeler sign him back, their captain. So it just goes to show you, it's like, are you loyal or you're not?
Yeah.
So and their top 6 forwards are awesome.
Yeah. No. 100%.
So we'll just say that they're like, I like them as much as Toronto. So that's saying something. So
there you go. Like I said, I think that's it. Like I said, it's still weird to me. It's still just a little weird because it doesn't really solve anything for Columbus. Like I said, you're gonna put a guy that might not work with Torts, but maybe Torts gets the best out of him, right? You never know.
But
maybe
I feel like Columbus too. They get an asset, right? So you could, if it doesn't work out again, you can flip Laine.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that. So.
And obviously the Jack, like Roslovic, he's from there. He's from Columbus. He wants to be there. He's jacked up to play in Columbus. So I think they already signed him to a 2-year extension right off the get-go. So Dubois, like I said, Dubois brings a lot, and he was obviously came out as a winger. That was what he played over when he was.
And people were shocked when he took him third overall.
Yeah.
Said it was a reach.
Yeah.
I think he's proved all those. Can we not say he's proved all those doubters?
100%, right? And he was playing down in Cape Breton too, right? So Cape Breton's not the big market. You know, it kind of gets forgotten sometimes. But that was the immediate thing. They said, look, we see him as a center. We don't see him as a winger. And that was a big thing for them. So I said, good to see two guys get traded. And it's always nice to see the big, like, superstar for superstar. Like, it's always kind of cool to see that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, 100%.
This was a hockey trade, Eric.
This is a hockey trade. So
gotta love it.
Next thing we're getting into is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just want to get your opinion on how they've done so far. The 4-2 Leafs. They're just taking out the Oilers.
The Oilers last night without Matthews. I'll give you the old heads up. So since we've last talked on the podcast, I thought our effort kind of stunk the first couple of games, and we beat Montreal by the skin of our teeth. Should have lost that game.
And by our effort, he doesn't mean our effort on the pod. He means the Leafs effort.
Yeah, the Leafs effort. Sorry, Eric's a hater of the Leafs, just like the Pats.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. But anyways, so yeah, like the effort in the Edmonton game, the first game they lost, they scored on their own net, but I found Toronto was buzzing in that game. It was kind of a defensive matchup, so there wasn't a lot of room out there. Yes, eventually Connor McDavid scored, but I like the way the Leafs played, even though they came out at the wrong end. It's one of their better games, I believe, this year. And then they come out without, like I said, Joe unfortunately hurt his ribs, so he's out for at least a month, if not longer. So that's unfortunate. Just kind of a stick to the ribs. He wasn't expecting it, like kind of a hit. Doesn't matter. If you're a Leaf fan, you know this already. For Matthews, it's an upper body injury, so I'm not sure exactly where he got hurt in that Edmonton game. But he looked great in that game. He was all over the ice, him and Marner. The second game, they come out without Matthews, like I said. So in come your taxi squad / more depth. Pierre Luc, or no, Jesus, Eric's got me all hyped up now. Sorry. Imball comes in, and actually, Eric, I hate to say this. He actually looked pretty good. Like he showed some legs. He looked fresh, and he looked hungry. Why can't he do this on a consistent basis is beyond me. But he looked deadly. He was shooting the puck out there. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing. If he would have played like this, like in camp, he probably would have made the team. And then Brooks, who made the team over him.
Yeah,
I love it. But anyways,
he started
yesterday. The season out on the practice squad. He scored.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of luck. I don't know if he directed it himself or what, but anyways, it doesn't matter when in the net. He looked good all game. So that's exciting. And without Matthews, we looked really good. And Willie was driving the play. I still like to see Nylander doesn't look like he did last year, where he was kind of a little more physically engaged, a little more aggressive in the corners and all over the ice. Sometimes he's just doing a flyby. By that, I mean he's just going up beside the guy and kind of shoving a stick in there, you know, like one hand, like whoop-de-doo, Basil. What does it all mean? You know, kind of like half-assedly. Like, so I kind of like to see him get back to what he was doing last year, because he was huge for us last year and was best year as a Maple Leaf. That being said, he played well. His skill obviously comes out. He gets a couple big assists. We win the game 4-2. So, you know, Willie, I want to see a little more from you. You know, you're 24 years old. We're paying you a good chunk of money. Make it happen, bro. Your numbers are good this year, but a little more effort defensively, please.
That's a little bit more.
We want to win.
Yeah.
Man. That's, you know, we're not going to do that with you fucking around on the second line like that. So just going to say that. Yeah. Sorry for the F-bomb. I'm going to try to cut it down this week.
That's fine. That's fine.
So anyways, the Leafs look better. And Freddie, definitely against Edmonton Friday night, his best game so far this year.
There you go.
So good to see from him. And I like where our defense is going to. We're trending in the right direction. They look good and comfortable. So I like it. We got depth this year, Eric, and they're fighting to get in the lineup. And I think we're a better team overall because of it. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Strange fact that I didn't realize yet is I just have like the Montreal game. It's over on the big screen. And Corey Perry wearing number 94. Odd number.
I love it.
He was born.
They must have an injury. He's in the lineup, so he's on the taxi squad.
Yeah, he's back. So, anyways, that's a little different. I'm trying to like think for a second. I'm like, is that the year he's born? I'm like, no. I'm like, Corey Perry's older than that, because Corey Perry's older than I am, and I'm 32. So, yeah.
He might be on. He's like 35, 36, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, no, like I said, I thought the Leafs looked good from what I seen. I didn't watch the full game, but I thought they looked, good. Obviously, Edmonton looks bad. Like, like if it's not their first line, if it's not Connor McDavid and Draisaitl scoring, like they have no hope in hell to do anything. They're 2-4. Like, and this is the problem when you're paying the big paycheck to the big guys. Is what do you do? They don't have any. They have Darnell Nurse on the back end. They obviously lose the guy before the season to injury. They had Tyson Barrie over there, fine. But how was Koskinen a good idea to sign him when they signed him? He wasn't even playing that good back then.
We cannot give that. We'll not give that to Holland though. That was the last one of the last things. I'm trying to think of his name. Yeah, he did. So.
Yeah. No, and I agree.
Let's not put that on Holland, but I think he's doing the best he can with what they get. You know what I don't like, Eric? And I think you'll agree with me. I don't like the fact that they had a little bit of money to play with, and they fucked around. Oh, there's another F-bomb, my bad. But they screw around, Eric.
Yeah.
And they wait on these goalies, and what do? They end up bringing Mike Smith back for $2 million. Are you kidding me? Like, they could have spent that money on another goalie. God,
I understand Mike Smith.
I don't understand that personally.
I understand Mike Smith gives you some, consistency and some that veteran leadership. He can help the young guys and figure out what they're doing through everything. But definitely something that's odd to me as well, as a guy that's just sitting out there watching. So it is what it is.
I don't like it at all.
No, I said we'll wait to see what they can pull up. Switching from the Leafs, and we're switching over to my team, the Colorado Avalanche. I think they've looked really well, really good. Some of it, they've almost had that we're too good to play hard attitude at some points.
You guys have been inconsistent this year.
Yeah.
It's either a decent effort or a shit effort.
Yeah. Like last night, they actually had, depends on what period and what, a couple shifts you watched, but they go out and they beat Anaheim. They beat them in overtime. To be honest, the game shouldn't have even been close. They were dominating it at the start, and I think they kind of said "Oh, okay, this is gonna be too easy." I think they got 6 shots, 6-0 for the shots or something like that. Scored everything else. So I think they're "Okay, yeah, this is gonna be easy." John Gibson played really well at a lot of points, and it said they just kind of looked lazy and lethargic in some stuff. Look at me dropping big words, but yeah, they said that was kind of what it was, and then they win in overtime. They go Laine or bad turnover by Gibson. Cale Makar gets it, goes down the wing, passes it over to Laine. Laine takes a shot. Gibson has an amazing save, but then Laine gets the rebound and gets a nice wraparound for the goal. I don't know. Like I said, they've been good.
Gibson's still a beauty.
The Kings too. The Kings game, that was more them just being lazy. I just found that they were above and beyond better, and they were kind of getting out to that lead, and they just kind of just stopped skating.
Kings are a hungry young team, man. There's guys there trying to prove themselves that they're NHLers.
Well, that's it, right? So
don't sleep on them.
No. And then since the last one too, I think the first episode we had, they played the Blues. They played okay. They just, a lot of it was just bad puck luck, I found. I didn't it was 5-1, but it was, a lot worse than 5-1. And then, the next game they go out and they put up 8-0 on the Blues.
Who's that on again?
The Blues.
On the Blues, yeah.
And they just dominated them. Ryan O'Reilly comes out after the game, says hey, we gave up, and that's not something we ever want to see from our team. So that's got to change type of thing. So see how that goes in the long run. But I find the teams looked really well. They brought Bowen Byram in. So they trade Ian Cole because they kind of were look.
Gave him away.
Yeah, well, they're look, Ian.
Not a fan of that trade.
No, but I think that was more of you're not going to be happy playing as a 7th, 8th defenseman. And to get all of our young guys in, because you got Devin Taves and Cale Makar. That's the first line. Then you get Sam Girard and Connor Timmins or EJ or whoever, right, on the second line. And then you have Connor
Is Timmins up right now with the big club?
He was, yeah. He's playing in and out. So what you have is you have Makar, Taze, Johnson, Gerard, Ryan Graves, Bowen Byram, Connor Timmins. You know what I mean? Like there's 7 guys that are all going to start ahead.
For 6 spots.
Yeah, for 6 spots. And then you're going to have a couple other guys. There's another guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's like their 8th defenseman. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just, that's kind of what you're going to be running
I get what you're saying, but I feel like they need to realize they're trying to win a fucking cup this year. And
I know, and injuries happen.
You know what happens during a cup run? Guys get hurt.
Yeah,
because it's a different brand of hockey.
I just don't think you.
So I feel like maybe you hold on to him for you.
But I think
for the run,
they're also paying him a good chunk of money, right?
I realize that, but
you got to make everything work, right? And maybe that's to set it up for, picking up somebody else later on down the road, right?
Relying on young guys, you know that it can go either way in the playoffs. Ask me, I'm a Leaf fan.
Yeah,
we haven't got out of the first round, so.
Oh, I know. So we'll wait and see how it goes, but it's. I said I understood the trade.
I trust in Joe though. He's done magnificent, right? Yeah. He goes from almost getting fired to he can't do no wrong now. So
no,
you just got to trust in the process and trust in what he sees. But I wasn't a huge fan of the trade. Like I feel like they could have got more.
No,
for him.
And it's the thing is, like I said, he's
good on Columbus. Though. Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah. At this point in his career, though, like I said, he's going to be that third pairing defenseman, and I just don't think he wants to be the third pair. I just think you do it as a favor to him, right? The guy's older. He's not going to want to sit in the press box, 4 to 5 nights, right? And that's what his role would have to be on this club, moving forward, right? So that is what it is. McKinnon though has looked awesome.
Mid-season form.
Yeah. He's had a couple. He had one against one goal against the Kings the other night. I don't know if you saw it, but he deep.
No,
Buddy,
I didn't see those highlights. Unfortunately,
Mikey Anderson and Buddy goes head first into the boards because he's watching the puck. Thought McKinnon was gonna go one way, and McKinnon pulls it back or whatever, and Buddy goes for the puck, head first in the boards. He totally misread it. McKinnon goes, bounces off, and then it
made him look like a donkey.
Oh yeah, made him look like a donkey. Yeah, big donkey. And then Rantanen's looked really good too. Big body. They tried splitting them up for the first game, and then they're like, no, we're going to get back to the Rantanen, McKinnon, Landeskog line. I haven't been super impressed with Kadri. That's if I could have one kind of,
slow out of the gate right now.
Yeah, slow out of the gate. And to be honest, it's the entire.
Is he just kind of out of shape? Who's he playing with this year?
He's playing with Brendan Saad and a couple of those guys.
I like it.
Yeah, so he's got good line mates. He just hasn't really kicked it in.
They haven't found their gears yet.
Yeah, and that's been the kind of, if I could have one complaint against the Avalanche this year, it would be that their secondary scoring is
non-existent.
Is non-existent right now.
It'll come around. It's early.
Yeah, and that's part of it, right? At the end of the day, McKinnon's what's going to drive this team. And we all knew it. That's just the way it is. Because right now, McKinnon's got 7 points in 5 games. Rantanen's got 6.
He's our best player right now.
Going down the lineup, the next closest guy, so Donskoy has 3 points in 5 games. Burakovsky's got 3 and 2. Kadri's got 2 points in 5 games. Brendan Saad's got one goal in 5 games. So after that first line, there's nobody. It
kind of drops off.
Yeah, it's McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, and then 3 defensemen. So it's not what you want to see on your stat sheet is 3 defensemen, rounding out your top 6.
It's a work in progress, is what you're telling me.
So, but they'll figure it out, I'm sure. It's just gonna take time. So, anyways, that's kind of it. I don't know. There's not really the only other thing I kind of had for hockey to talk about is, and I know it's just weird, but Lafreniere has now gone 4 games without scoring a point.
That's okay though, because I'll chime in right here. I think that's okay because that team has not looked good yet. I know they had that one shutout win, but I don't find they've played their best hockey, not even close.
No.
It's kind of like they fucking another F-bomb. Jesus. Right on it today. It's kind of like, Eric, I don't know about you, but remember in the play-in and the playoffs, they just, I don't know, like just look 5 steps behind.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't think they're 5 steps behind, but they just don't look like they're geared up like yet. Like it looks like they're in preseason form, like they're not in mid-season form, and they better get their shit together soon, because if they don't, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Well, no, and that's
they're in the hard division too in the East.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You're in a hard division. There's obviously lots of guys in there that are going to play good, and then like I said, it's just odd. I'm sure Lafreniere's probably like, I've never gone 4. It's hard for me to go 4 shifts.
God, in the queue, I don't think so.
Hard to go 4 shifts without getting your points, right? Like, but definitely not in the queue. I can't see him going 4 games without a point, right? Not even a goal. Like not.
Well, me and you watched him a lot in his rookie year. I remember
good.
that, and him and Pelch played each other.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like every other game they were in Moncton that year, but
yeah,
he was really good then. He stood out.
I still don't have a problem with it.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried either. But it's just like I said. He'll once it. I think it's gonna be like a floodgate. Once he opens it up, it's gonna be pretty good. It's just a different season.
What is that Russian killing it for Minnesota? But
Kaprizov?
We already talked. Yeah, we talked about him already.
Yeah.
But he's 23 years old, and I feel like people don't realize like 18 or 19 compared to a 23-year-old, it's a massive difference.
It's a huge difference.
So he's playing top line minutes, top power play minutes.
Yeah.
Lafreniere is going to get some of that, but not as same with Stutzler, but not as much as he is. Just going to throw that out there.
100%. Like I said, for a lot of these guys, it's a weird. There's no training camp, not really a preseason, anything like that to kind of get the blood flowing, get the lines going. Trying to get them acclimated to the pace and the speed of the NHL. So it's kind of be different for them. But anyways, that's what they'll be.
I'm not gonna lie, as a Leaf fan, I'm so with these injuries, Eric. I'm so disappointed that Robertson got hurt, because this is where you wanted to see bring him in. There's the punch. You know what I mean? You're hoping to see something, and he gets hurt in I don't know if it was his first or second shift in that game. It's unfortunate, but you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm happy about a lot of these depth signings. Yeah. And then one thing else I wanted to mention is Wayne Simmons, Eric, the last 3 games, I'm pretty sure has hit 2 posts, and he's holy God, I cannot talk. He is showing signs, there we go, that he's going to come alive offensively. And his legs, I don't know if he worked on his skating, but he does look like he's never blazing with speed.
No.
But he's keeping up with the play with ease. So I'm kind of excited about that too, because I figured he would be a lame duck. But I was looking the other day, he's only 32.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he has a decent year and he comes back for one more. I'd like to see him one more year, but I like him, man. I like some of the guys we have. So we'll see how it goes. But you guys are looking like a cup contender. I don't think you're in where you could be in your best form yet. I don't think you guys are showing your best stuff yet. But
no, well, and
like the Leafs, I think we've just slowly come out of the gate and we're starting to rise.
Well, that's
they always say the cream of the crop, buddy.
When
goes to the top.
To be 4-2, or 3-2, sorry, and essentially
we're 4-2, same thing.
And essentially the only scoring that we've had so far is from our first line. I'll take that.
God, I wish I could say that, Eric. Our first line had one good game. One good game, and then half the line decides to peace out. They're like, yeah, see you guys later. Check you later.
We're hurt.
But anyways.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Eric.
Oh, fun fact.
Marner has 4 goals this year.
Wow.
But one of them's an empty net. Yeah. But I'm just saying he's got more goals than Matthews. This has never happened before.
Matthews is overrated. Confirmed by Trevor Ward.
Whatever. He's not overrated.
That's you just said it.
Matthews not overrated. Are you kidding me? He's not even playing right now, boy. When he gets back in the lineup, boy, look the frack out.
Oh, look!
What a beauty!
You caught yourself that time.
No, I didn't.
So, anyways, we're gonna go from the ice and the NHL, and we're gonna go right into football. The football, and we're gonna start with an upsetting time for myself, Trevor Ward.
Oh my God. I thought you froze for a second because it paused on the screen. And I'm like, holy shit, it froze again? Eric's gone. And all of a sudden you start speaking. I'm like, sweet.
No, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see, but if you're watching on YouTube, obviously you can see. I'm wearing my Phillip Rivers jersey, one of my many Phillip Rivers jerseys. And
he's wearing the nice one too. It's not the powder blue sucker. It's the dark blue.
I love
Mother
powder
Beaver.
blues. I can't even say anything.
Yeah, no, but I love the dark blue because that was vintage for LT.
The old Navy.
And Drew Breezy.
And I got the picture up on YouTube too, and it's just, I think it's one of the final games for Rivers in I think it was, that looks like Qualcomm there. Yeah, it is Qualcomm. So I think that's like his last game in Qualcomm. He's just waving him goodbye. And Philip Rivers, my quarterback for 16 years.
A
while. A guy I got to root for and watch and, really grow into love the game of football with, right? Because I started liking football. It was like 2000, like right around when he got drafted. It was like that 2002, 2003, 2004 range. Obviously, a lot of it was because of LT, but it was one of those things. I was like, Philip Rivers, it became my quarterback, and the guy finishes top 10 in every statistical category in yards and wins and touchdowns, and for me,
interceptions probably.
I don't know about interceptions, but
high-end team boy, Philip Rivers.
It might be, but that's fine. But that was, and one of my favorite things.
I'll give him kudos. Towards the end of it, he was pushing the ball down there, trying to make something happen.
Well, that was what it was. So, and I'm gonna play a little clip, and
that's bound to happen when you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little clip, and it's what it is. It's Philip Rivers talking, and he's just explaining how he plays the game. So I'm just gonna play the little clip, and
play it.
Here we go. Oh, give me 1 second.
Just kidding.
No, and here we go.
I mean, I think it's that I can say I gave it everything I had. I mean, every week, So, and maybe it means an interception on 4th and 18 when you're down 10, because I don't care that it's going to say 2 interceptions. I really don't. It's just like I ain't quitting. So I think that doing it with so many guys over 14 years, and going to the locker room, win or lose, and I can say, dadgummit, we're short. We fell short, or we won. But shoot, I couldn't try it any harder.
Left it all out there is what he's saying.
And that's, I've watched that video, and that's from when he was with the Chargers.
Right before he left, he was getting a little emotional when he was asked.
Right, and you can just tell, you can hear it in the voice.
That he gave a shit.
He gave a shit, and he doesn't care. And like I said, and I like that, right? There's a lot.
He does care, and that's why he's pretty much crying in that. That's how much he cares.
And that's what I mean. But
he's going to battle with 53 guys,
yep.
And he's trying to make it happen for them.
And he doesn't care about the stats, like you said. That's I understand that you ever can look at stuff different ways, right? But that's one of the things I always liked about Philip Rivers was he doesn't care if he's down by two touchdowns with 1:23 left in the game. What the frack, in the more words of Trevor Ward, doesn't matter if he throws a second INT or if it's the end of the first half and he throws a deep ball just to try to get into like field goal range with like 10 seconds left. What does it matter, right? Because if you don't get that field goal there, then if you don't get that first down or push it downfield, he doesn't care about that stuff. And it was something I always appreciated about him. People can debate me all day long, and I will forever say, and it's not even just because the guy is my quarterback and the guy that I rooted for all those seasons. But I think there's no doubt that the guy's a Hall of Famer. If you want to talk about Super Bowls and everything else, and I will debate this till the end of time, Big Ben's Super Bowls that puts him above Philip Rivers by so much. He averaged 200 yards in his first Super Bowl run per game.
Yeah, okay. He won because of his team in the first one.
Exactly.
Hands down.
Okay.
I will back him on
200
that.
yards. It was like 201 yards, sorry, if you want to get technical. He put up 7 passing touchdowns in those 4 games. So he averaged under 2 passing touchdowns. And then in his second Super Bowl, which everyone wants to brag about too, the guy goes and puts up 230 yards per game passing and puts up 1 touchdown per game average in 3 games. So now you're talking.
They got it done though.
So exactly, but now you're talking about a guy. You're gonna distinguish and say this guy's a Hall of Famer and this guy isn't. Over combined between the two between the two Super Bowl runs, under like 220 yards average passing and a touchdown and a half per game. Like, give me a fracking break. That's not going to change my mind on if a guy's a Hall of Famer, because his team and his defense was so good. Since he came in the league, Big Ben's defensive teams have been the number 2 overall defenses in that time frame. So Philip Rivers had a lot to work against, obviously. You had Nate Kading missing more field goals in one game than he did for an entire season against the Jets. You had the Marlon McCree interception on Tom Brady, and then instead of just going down, he fumbles the ball. Like, it's those two things right there change the outcome of what would probably be a Super Bowl for Philip Rivers, right?
I'll go on the record and say Marino's in, and he doesn't got a Super Bowl.
No.
And Phillips' numbers are up there, like Eric said.
Yeah.
So he should get a sniff at the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Personally, I know Eli's got two Super Bowl rings, and I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No.
I think Big Ben will get in by the skin of his teeth because he's got the 2 rings. But after seeing his last playoff game, Big Ben, fucking retire, bud. You're done.
Well, and that he probably should, right? So, but like I said, that's just for me. Like I said, you put all Rivers' stats against anybody else, those other 2 guys from that draft class, which everybody else doesn't debate that those guys are Hall of Famers for some reason. Everyone you talk to is like, oh yeah, they each got 2 Super Bowls. Put them in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know. So you think Eli's a Hall of Famer?
I don't, but that's what everyone says, right? So, but like for me, Eli's record's worse. His winning percentage is worse. His touchdown to interception ratio is worse. Like everything.
I think Eli was pretty good for 8 years, or let's say 10 years.
I think but I don't know if in any of those. I don't know, like how many times would you have said in all those seasons that Eli Manning is a top 15 quarterback?
I don't know. He was never really one of the top.
Anything.
You know what I mean? Even in the seasons they won, like, but I think what helps him on his resume is he's got the 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady.
Well, that's it.
Which is Tom Brady's kryptonite, it seems. So,
but I
don't know. So that right there will probably help him get in. But I honestly don't think Eli, and I like Eli.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. So,
no, and as I said, if you just look at the numbers, obviously some people say, well, Big Ben missed a lot of games. If you average everything,
I think Big Ben will get in though.
Yeah,
like, I do think that, and he's had some good years. But.
Yeah, and I think Big Ben should get in, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to use that as an argument, that's a piss poor argument just because a guy had a really good defense and a really good team.
No, I already made my argument for you. Like,
so.
I know I didn't go on elaborate about it, but like, I think Dan Marino is a Hall of Famer, and he is. He's in Canton right now. So
quarterback.
And Phillips got some better numbers than him. Yeah,
and quarterback. Quarterback shouldn't be the only position in all of sports where championships matter.
No, for sure. I totally agree.
Especially for something like that.
Most valuable players and all that shit.
Literally, you said
because really it's almost a tainted, just like the Heisman. Yeah. It's almost tainted. Like, I was pretty excited to see a goddamn receiver get the Heisman. It's just kind of nice to see them switch it up.
Well, we've talked about it before, but Philip Rivers every year had to either beat Tom Brady or Peyton Manning.
That's shitty. Seriously.
For how long?
It's like Peyton Manning. It's like for the Colts could never beat New England. So the Colts couldn't beat New England.
And we own the
New England couldn't beat the Ravens at one point.
Yeah.
Couldn't get by the Ravens, and then you guys own the Colts.
Yeah.
But you guys couldn't beat the Chargers. Couldn't beat New England. So it's just funny how shit works.
Well, that was the thing, right? That's everyone goes on about the year that the fumble happened for, we intercepted Tom Brady, Marlon McCree doesn't go down, and you guys go on to play the Colts. Well, we own the Colts. We probably would have destroyed the Colts that year, and we probably would have won the Super Bowl. Like you said, it's luck, right? And it's the same thing. Like,
it's matchups too. Like, just matchups too.
And
it really does matter.
This isn't even a shot at the Patriots. I swear to God, it is not a shot. But if Vinatieri misses some of those field goals for you guys, or if Seattle runs the ball, or if Atlanta doesn't implode, like in that Super Bowl,
or if Atlanta just goes to common sense and starts running the ball,
or wasting time, right? Running the clock.
You know what I mean? Playing the game smartly.
You can still play the game. You can still pass the ball, But why are you snapping the ball with 20 seconds left? Like, just don't. That didn't make any sense. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just very small things. It
depends what you believe, but I kind of agree with you. But, like, some people say, like, this is how they got there all year with the Falcons. Like, explosive offense. Yeah, but when you're up by, like, 21 points on a really good Hall of Fame quarterback and a really good team and a smart coach over there, you just play smart football.
Yeah.
Run the fucking ball. There's only so much time in a game.
Well, and
it's not hard.
And
if it's a 1 yard fucking you're on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Run the fucking ball. That's your team. That's what you guys do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're Seattle.
Yeah. So like I said that but like
cheers, boys. Thanks, Seattle, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Atlanta.
But like I said, it doesn't take very much for all of a sudden Tom Brady to be 2-6 in Super Bowls, right? You know, if the Rams do anything in that last Super Bowl that the Patriots won, if they do anything offensively,
fuck, we didn't do anything offensively.
You won 10-3.
We did enough,
right?
You know what I mean? We did enough.
It was 10-3 or 13-3, whatever it was.
It was 13-3 or something. It was ridiculous.
How terrible is so it's like okay, well, let's give Tom another like pat on the back. It's like the guy scored 13 points in a
if anybody deserves anything there, it was the defense.
But that's I'm just saying, like I said, it's a team game, and like Philip Rivers said, every time he goes out there, it was for all the guys, and you said it. He's leaving it all out there for the 52 other guys out on the field. All the
it's a team sport,
and it's a team
really
sport,
is.
And it just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be come down to that. But anyways, I digress. I'll leave.
Like Aaron Rodgers has only got one Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Why? Because they failed to build a defense on the other side of the ball.
100%.
Okay, first of all, then they let guys go and have failed to find receivers.
Yep.
Yeah, they got guys that can get open on the odd play, but they need more in Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
It's good to see that they found, like, finally developed a tight end.
Yep.
So that really helps them, and now they got a bit of a running game. So, that really helps, but they need a couple more receivers.
So that's what we're going to get into next. We're going to talk about the first game. So, and we're not going to talk about we're going to give a recap on last
AFC
week.
or you want to go NFC?
So we're going to talk about the Packers versus the Rams and
NFC.
what the Packers were able to do over there. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good game, and it's hard, right? You're playing against Aaron Donald. You're playing against an amazing defense over there.
An injured fucking Aaron Donald. That's too bad.
It is too bad, but like I said, they just played really well.
Let's be honest. Between the two of us, we've watched I don't know how much football.
Yeah.
He would have been in the backfield at least once in the game and made a sack.
Oh, 100%,
or at least
right?
hit the running back from behind the line of scrimmage. He did not.
No.
The whole game, so you knew he was laboring.
Yeah, and to be honest, like to be fair, the interior and the entire offensive line for the Packers has been amazing all year. But yeah, so
I don't know.
I've
seen guys in the backfield. Like I know what you're saying. They've been better, but they're better, but
no.
Still.
But no, so like I said, that was they come out, they're the first game, they go and they put up 32-18. Aaron Rodgers has not an amazing, he has 296 yards, 2 TDs. The run game really worked well for them. They put up almost 200 yards on the ground. Which nobody kind of really saw.
I beat you again, didn't I? On our picks? Or were we tied?
No.
I had the Bucks.
Yeah, that's where you won.
I had the Bills.
You won the Bucks.
You had the Ravens. You had the Ravens.
No, I did not have the Ravens.
You didn't have the Ravens?
No.
Fuck, I thought you had the Ravens.
No, you beat me but it was because of the Bucks, I think, or maybe
Bucks,
we tied.
Baby. They're going against the Braidster, the TV.
So I don't know. It's a really good game, and like I said, it's nice to see. I think the best team won. Obviously, Goff was out there. He's not at 100% with his whole thumb. Wait to see what happens over there.
It sounded like they were still going. Sean McVay still wanted to go with what is it, Wolf?
Yeah, Wolford, but he
looked pretty good in that when he came in for relief for that.
And then he broke his neck essentially on the.
Is that what happened? Like I heard he hurt his neck, but did he actually break it?
No, he did something to it, right? But Jamal Adams hit him in the head, and anyways, it is what it is. But no, I said like it's nice to see. Like I said, I think the right team won. I think if the Rams went forward, I don't think the Rams would beat either the Saints or the Bucks if they'd just be playing with borrowed money and borrowed time at that point, right? So it's kind of nice to see that the right team won, and it's.
I think you're going to see the Rams start drafting quarterbacks, because I noticed this year on the sideline between him and McVay.
Yeah.
McVay was not happy with him at all.
No,
with some of his decision making, and I don't know, just a whole lot of it. So that's very fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna get off the football talk for a second, just because I'm looking over at the TV.
Give her. Tell me what you're seeing.
Did you see Tyler Myers the other day? And he took like the head off of the guy with the cheap shot, hit him in the head.
Was that against Montreal where the guy got the concussion? Arnemium or
yeah. So, anyways, Joel Edmondson told him before.
I thought that was okay. So let's get into that for a second. Like, I thought that was a clean head.
No, see, you're on friggin'. I don't know how much Pink Whitney you've drank so far today, Trevor, but
no, I didn't touch Pink Whitney. No, I just saw like one quick shot of it.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like he got that. Like, it looked like he was illegal jack.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, it caught him off because it was kind of from the side. It caught him off guard, but I thought it was a legal hit.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Tyler Myers is so tall too. It doesn't help.
He's huge as fuck. Yeah.
But you got to know what you're doing, and to hit a guy like that after the,
Did he get any games?
No, he didn't. So he didn't get any games. So Joel Edmondson told him. Joel Edmondson told him.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The defenseman told him before the games that, hey man, I'm gonna fight you. Like, just I'm being honest with you. I'm gonna fight you. Told him in warm-ups. So we're like 3 minutes into the game. Joel Edmondson was out there. So was Tyler Myers. He just looked at him. He's like, drop the gloves. Like, I'm either gonna. Essentially, it was probably like something like, I'm either gonna chase you down and beat and grab you, and then we'll fight, or you can be a man and just drop your gloves, come over here, and let's go. And so they did. And anyways, Edmondson just put a whooping on him.
So Eric.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like these 3-game series and these back-to-backs? Like, do you like it?
I like it. It's gonna start getting chippy.
I know it's gonna start getting greasy.
Yeah.
Like, I do like it though. It reminds me of fucking playoff hockey, right? It's like honestly being a Leaf fan the other night. Like I told you, we dropped that game to Edmonton, which I thought we played pretty fucking good, but we dropped the game, and all I could think of is like this. And this little bit of panic in my chest. I'm like, oh my goodness, if we drop both games to Edmonton, like, this is not good. Like, and we're playing him again twice this week coming, I think. So we got a tough schedule here this week.
Do.
We got Van. I think we got Van 3 times this week too, because we're out west here.
Yeah,
starting tomorrow.
Yeah, probably.
Starting tomorrow. So I think we got Calgary tomorrow. I'll have to look.
Yeah. Anyways, back to football. I for once, I'm the one that took Trevor off the rails there, people. That's all my own fault.
He did.
It was just one of those things. I think sometimes you got to stick up for your guy. Next game. I
love that, Eric. Good point.
Yeah, the next game, and we'll stick with the NFC. It was the curtain call for Drew Brees.
Heartbreaking, Eric.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking to see him go out that way. To see him throw, 2 or 3 picks.
Yeah.
And he's talking about after the game, like, well, he doesn't know he's gonna make a decision. Like, Brees, I love you, boy. Like, you're one of my favorites. Just call it a career, man. You got that booth thing. They've got 2 quarterbacks, or they got at least 1 quarterback. And Tyson Hill. I don't know if they're gonna grab Winston back or if they're gonna draft.
The best throw for the Saints in that entire game was the throw by Winston. And I told somebody before we were watching the game, and it was in the first quarter, and I kind of mentioned, I was like, if the Saints really wanted to win this game, they would take out Drew Brees from what I've seen through a quarter and a half, and they would be putting Jameis Winston in. And it's because you could just tell, and like, you never would do it. And Sean Payton would never do it, right? You just can't. This is the curtain call. This is Drew Brees' last thing. It's unfortunate because you wanted to die on the sword that he was your quarterback and he was who you're going to go with, that you made the other, and I'm sure nobody would ever care, right? Nobody on the Saints.
Essentially, they're trying to win that one for Brees.
Yes, but like, it's at the end of the day, if you wanted to win the game, you would be going with Jameis Winston, because you could tell early on in that game, Drew Brees wasn't right. He didn't have the arm power. He's obviously, had injuries this year. And it's one of those things. It was just a shame to see. Now they lost 30-20, and I just want to pump the brakes just a little bit. And everyone can say that I'm a Brady hater and whatever you want. And I
He is
understand
Brady hater.
Tom Brady in the game in this 30 to
Such
20
a hater.
in this 30 to 20 game, Tom Brady they're like, well, he had 3 touchdowns. Trevor, I'm going to give you
They're off of fucking turnovers though.
Yes.
If you watch the game.
So do you want to just put out a guess?
Like at one point, I think they got the ball. Where did they get they got one interception. And it was like, I don't know if it was on their 20 or their 15 or they're in there. So they didn't run that many plays. So
out of his 3 touchdown drives, Trevor, how much do you think the combined yardage was for those 3 touchdown drives?
Maybe 50 yards.
63 yards on
for
3 touchdown drives.
Thank you. I'm that good, people. I'm a wizard.
So people are like, "Oh, Tom Brady, it's the all-time GOAT."
That's what you call capitalizing on, you know. Like, but their defense the week before had me scared shitless because they didn't do enough to me. Like they were losing essentially, or they potentially could have lost to a goddamn Washington. The guy was on the street not too long ago. Yeah. I like that quarterback's play though. That was awesome.
But like I said, it's Tom Brady doesn't put up 200 yards. Obviously, the Saints defense is very good, and they just got put in a position where look, you're there's 3 turnovers. You're dealing with 63 yards combined in those 3. I think one was for 3 yards, one was 20 yards, and one was for 40 yards, or give or take around that area. And so you're talking like short distance. You're not giving yourself a whole lot of luck. The Cook turnover, I saw that as soon as he caught it. I said he's gonna fumble that ball. Like I remember, I'm in my mind, I was like, I'm like he's gonna fumble that ball. I said I can just see it because it's Jared Cook, and sure as shit, but he comes behind.
He had it out there like a loaf of bread, Jesus.
Just like punches it out, and I'm like, that's the game. That's the game right there. Drew Brees should have won the game, and it was something like that. And then obviously there's a pick after that, and the lead kind of got away from them because of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not super impressed by the whole Bucs squad. I know this is like the dream team. I understand that they got all these guys.
It's not though. Like they got holes on that other side, on the defensive side. Like they can play really good, but then they just seem to allow so many big chunk plays. I'm just not. I'm not convinced either.
I think the Packers are going. We'll get into that. Well, I'll say that. But
I don't think the Packers blow them out. Like that's where I think you're leaning. Like they're going to blow them out. I think it'll be a close game, but. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't made my mind up on that yet.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers get another fucking ring, though.
Yeah, 100%.
And, I just feel like he's 37 years old. He should have 2.
And for a Patriots fan, you should be like, hey, look, screw you, Tommy boy. You left us. You're dead to me.
Well, I silently root for the guy. Like, I've got no hard feelings. But like Eric just said, man, I've been concentrating all my efforts on reading in the draft, looking at the quarterbacks coming out. Who do I like? Who do I not like? Who could possibly in the NFL get traded? Quarterbacks. Who are free agent quarterbacks? Who could help our club out? Just the whole scenario.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Who could we take to get better? Where do we need to get better in receiver, like a receiver, tight end, defensive line, like a playmaker in the defensive line? Just the whole, Eric, you know where I'm at.
I know.
I'm just dissecting and analyzing and reading and just super into it.
No, so. Like I said, I see that game as it really could have went either way, and I really do think that it was a shame to see Breeze go out that way. And,
for sure.
Because it should be his last game. If it's not, I don't know what they're doing over there.
God, I hope so.
But
I love them.
And we'll see how the next games go. The next game we're going to talk about is the Bills and the Ravens. So Lamar looked bad. Yeah, I don't know. Lamar puts up 162 yards passing. Never really got anything on the ground, so he had 34. He obviously left early because of injury. They had I think it was a safety. I think they called it a safety. But he, or maybe it wasn't, but maybe he got rid of it.
I'm pretty sure they said he had a concussion, but
yeah, he came back and he smashed his head, which is unfortunate. You don't want to ever see that, but
it was over by that point. Anyways.
Yeah, it was 17-3. The Ravens defense played really well, and the Bills, I think they kind of they weren't trying to do too much. Yeah, they weren't unloading the cupboards yet. They weren't doing anything too crazy. That being said, Josh Allen.
The win was a crazy element in that game, though.
Yeah.
Like, that was a game where the Ravens, if they could run the ball and do what they wanted to do, should have won the game. But they couldn't do that because Buffalo's defense played good.
Yeah, now Allen, like I said, he didn't really do a whole lot. Didn't do a whole lot on the ground. Like, the running game wasn't really there. It's just it was a weird game. I think they were just being very conservative because they were like, look, we don't want to lose to this defense. We think we can hang with the offense, and if we just do a little bit, it'll be enough to win the game. So, like I said, it is what it is. I think the Bills are good.
Bills are good.
Yeah, I think they're good. That's pretty much what I'm going to
leave. I've been saying it all year. The Bills are really good.
And I think the Ravens defense just kicked it in when they had to. It wasn't enough. They just need
the Bills right now are learning how to win in the playoffs.
They are. Just the little stuff, man. Just the little stuff. Last game, this one got scary at one point, and it is the Chiefs versus the Browns. The Browns almost made it to the conference finals, Trevor. Patrick Mahomes goes out with, they say it's not, some said it was a concussion, some said it wasn't. It almost looked like he got choked out as he was getting tackled down. It was just a really weird kind of injury.
It was weird though.
He was out of it though. Whatever it was.
Yeah, he was out. And that's the thing that was weird too, because when they showed the replays over and over, it's man, I don't really see where he's fucking smoked his head. But
yeah,
it just goes to show you, if you hit your head in the right angle, that's just how quick it can happen. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's not always force. It's just kind of an angle and the way it happens.
100%. You watch a lot of the guys. I've watched a lot of fights, UFC and stuff over the years, and it's not always the big haymaker that connects right here. Sometimes it's just a weird little and all of a sudden the guy goes right. It could be anything.
Yeah. It all depends. We're all different, right? We're all different when it comes to that shit too. So,
yeah. But
we're all unique.
Even before that, I didn't find. So there's obviously the big play was at the end of the first half. The guy gets smoked. Brett Sorensen just torpedoes himself, hands beside his head, hands beside his side, throws his helmet in, hits Higgins in the helmet, right in the ear hole. So to your blatant, helmet to helmet hit, makes him fumble it. It goes out of the, he fumbles it at the 1 yard or half yard line. It goes, he fumbles it, and it goes out, so then it's a touchback. Completely changes that game. Should have been a penalty on Sorensen. It wasn't. Everyone was losing
that
their
the helmet to helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they fucking missed that.
Everyone's losing their mind. They're saying this is why you need to be able to challenge this stuff, which
No, I do not want to see that changed. God, no. Because remember the NHL did that?
I know.
I don't like that.
But at some point,
at
some point you can't have a game decided on a miss, and because refs are human, right?
I don't understand how the ref missed that.
But there's so much stuff going on.
He was so concentrated on the fumble going out through the end zone on that play,
and I know
there's so much going on.
And I know he's looking at the ball because he's reaching it out
because he's got to get the right call. And I totally agree with Eric on this. But man, how does he miss that? He led with the helmet and. I don't understand.
The hands weren't even anywhere near. The hands were at the side. He just literally torpedoed himself.
That was the first thing. So they show the replay. So I see the ball go and that's the first thing I say to myself. The ref is so concentrated on
where the ball
making sure he makes the right call, that the ball was fumbled.
Yeah.
Through the end zones for the touchback. So I said to myself, he missed it.
But
so disappointing that he missed it.
But that's the only time, like I said, that's when it does. And I don't want to. I do hate, I hate replays when it comes to stuff. I hate seeing 4,000 replays. I hate stuff coming down to becoming that's one of my problems with the NBA is it's so stop and go for so much of the game, especially the last 2 minutes of an NBA game is the most boring thing in the goddamn world because it's just.
Well, I hate when they go like that. They go to replay who it went off of.
Yeah,
but come on.
But it is what it is.
Get it fucking right.
At the end of the day, that's a playoff and a franchise changing moment if that's ruled the other way.
No.
Right?
But what did I tell you? The keys to the game.
Yeah.
And they got away from it, Eric.
I know.
And they did that in the first game, but I think they did that in the first game just to break the habit because the box was loaded.
Yeah.
But they got to run the ball, man. You got two of the premium backs in the league.
But the problem is and you know what? Maybe they do run the ball more if they get in there.
They should have run the ball more.
If they score there, then they're only down 10-16. So now you're not. But instead, what happens is you're down 10-14. I think it was what it was, because in that
that's
instead
them right there.
Yeah. So now you're close. You're close enough that you can go into half only down by 4. People say, well, it wouldn't change much. Guess what? I guarantee you, the Chiefs don't run it and push it as hard as they did at the end of the first half to score the field goal if the Browns score there, because now you're so close. Now you don't want to take the chance to have a fumble or an interception or a weird play, because now you're in such a close game. You're not going to want to go down, losing.
You just don't want to chance it, period.
So exactly, right? But when you're up by more than a score, okay, well, whatever. We'll push it because we can, right? Because it is what it is. I don't know. For me, that was my big problem with it, is you almost have to be able to review that kind of stuff. Just because you have to get those calls right. That's the problem. That was
a big mess. Yeah. I agree with you. And I was super disappointed.
Obviously, like I said, the Browns didn't do themselves any favors in the fourth. Obviously Mahomes is gone at this point. And
he's been cleared. He will be in the game this weekend.
Exactly, right? And then all of a sudden
we all knew. Well, me and Eric did anyways.
Insiders Trevor and Eric over here from Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada.
Well, what's interesting is when you're going through protocol, you can actually still practice.
Yeah.
Which is fucked if you think about it. So he's taking reps.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's interesting. But anyways, I'm not going to comment on that.
No, 100%.
That's kind of weird. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. But anyways, it goes on and on and on. And the Baker and them had a chance to score in the fourth. They decided to kick the ball instead. And it's because they got back and they got behind and they put themselves, I think it was like 4th and 8 or 4th and 17 or something. It had been a long 4th down conversion, so they said, look, we'll just punt it and hopefully we can get it back from Chad Henne. But the problem is Chad freaking Henne decided with
the big run,
boys.
With the big run,
I get the biggest balls in here. And actually, the biggest balls in here is Andy Reid, but I'm gonna make this huge run. Scramble out for 17 yards or whatever it was. I'm going to scramble,
around that.
Not get all the way, get down on the half-yard line, the yard line. So now
he had a bad spot there. I'll give him that. They got a bad spot there.
So now they're 4th and 1, essentially, let's say. And Andy Reid, he goes to the line. They're like, okay, they're not going to run a play here. Nobody ever does, right? You're trying to hopefully grab, bring the guys offside. And don't they run a little...
Which has become a theme the last year and a half.
Don't they just run the little passing play to Tyreek Hill, just the little outside slant, whatever you want to call it, and he catches it, and they get the first down, and they're going to play against the Bills because of it, because Andy
Reid,
Reid,
Buffalo team, man.
Yeah. So anyways,
I like the Bills defense better. I really do. So it's going to be interesting.
I said,
but the Kansas City Chiefs can run the ball.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, because Buffalo really down the stretch couldn't run the ball at all. So we'll see how that works.
They got nothing going on the.
No, it's fucking horrible.
It's terrible. But anyways, I said, a lot of drama on the game, a lot of stuff that went back and forth. Like I said, I do think you have to have a challenge or something from the booth to call those head-to-head, those helmet-to-helmet hits. If that's Patrick Mahomes diving for that, if he gets a run and Patrick Mahomes is diving with that ball and he gets hit in the helmet, that's a penalty.
Or Tom Brady, guarantee you they don't miss it. So I don't understand.
Because
anyways, I know we're human, but it's disappointing.
Yeah, as soon as it's a running back or a receiver, everything. It's the same as the college game where Fields got hit. They call it helmet, which it was leaving the helmet. I don't get me wrong, but that hit happens 20 times in the run of a college football game and never gets called. But because it was on Justin Fields, it got called. So it's just some consistency. And that's it. Before we get into the actual matchups this week, I want to get one last thing, Trevor.
Give her.
And it's something you sent to me right before the start of this podcast. What are your thoughts on Matty Stafford and the Detroit Lions saying, look, boys, she's been a long and good run, but I think it's time we hit the old dusty trail and you let
Heart
me the
ways.
frack out of here. So yeah, I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Let him go. I think if anybody
Deserves it.
yeah, it's definitely Stafford. Like, I think he's given them the heart and soul, and he's got some freaking bad luck with injuries the last couple of years. But I don't know. It's like I said, I don't know if I said this on podcast, but they just failed to build a team around him.
Yep.
It's a sin. It is what it is. I'm trying to think. Like, see, for Josh Allen, they kind of got that happen. They had that happen this year. They went and get Stephon Diggs. They went and got Josh Brown the year before or the year before that.
Yeah.
And that worked out for them. And they just added complementing pieces. They draft Davis this year. He kind of breaks out. He's just another complementary piece who can go deep down the field. Then they got McKenzie, who's also a younger guy who just caught the odd big pass, it seems like, or a splash play here and there.
Yeah.
It's very important to have really good players around your stud.
Well, it
just helps them.
You look at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck had a really terrible GM for his entire run with the Colts.
Where they refused to build an offensive line, which didn't even make sense. He was getting killed.
Didn't want to build anything. They didn't do anything for that guy.
He didn't want to get hurt is why he retired. He was sick of getting hurt.
Yes, he's getting destroyed.
That's not good.
No, he's getting destroyed out there. And obviously, like I said, at the start, that was his thing, right? He was so big. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He's essentially the same player as what Cam Newton is, right? It's just he's obviously had a better arm, but he ran the same at the combine. He leaped the same at the combine. Like, everything was the same between. So he's just a big, huge guy. And Matthew Stafford obviously came in. He had Calvin Johnson. I understand that, ladies and gentlemen.
Megatron.
But the franchise did him wrong too, and so he pieced the hell out. And they've had other good guys, right?
Another guy's sick of getting hurt.
They've had Marvin Jones. They've had Kenny Golladay. They've had a couple guys in there. The defense has been horseshit for the entire time he's been there. The offensive line has been okay at times, depending on when you're kind of looking at it. And
they could never run the ball, though. I guess it's probably the best year they've run the ball.
100%. They had this year, and I think even last year with Keon Johnson, they kind of had a better. But I think at one point they had gone like 40 or 50 straight games without like a 100-yard rusher. Like, it was just something so stupid that it's like you haven't had or maybe it was 100 games, but it was like you haven't had a 100-yard rusher for that long.
It's like you need to work at doing that, people.
Oh,
like,
my God.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and when it comes down to a lot of it, obviously the last couple of years they also wasted it with Matt Patricia. He's a stooge. He's a terrible coach.
Back in New England.
Oh, it's poor you guys. How you guys thought that's a good idea, I'll never understand. But anyway,
well, I don't think he's running anything. I think he's just there coaching something, like supporting.
He's an idiot.
He's a good football mind. Maybe he's just not meant for running a team.
You guys gave up how many yards?
I honestly don't think he was ever our best defensive coordinator.
No. Brian
Romeo
Flores
was really good. And, like, even this year with oh, my God, Brian, like, he was good too. Yeah, the Dolphins
Flores.
head coach, sorry. Yeah, he was really good too. He only run it for 1 year, right, Florence?
Yeah, it's there's just so much of it, and I don't. Anyways, it is what it is. But I just feel bad for Matthew Stafford because that guy is probably one of the most talented arms this league has ever seen.
New England.
Do you imagine?
We don't have
Oh my God.
Well, it'd help us. We still need more. Like we just talked. Just talked about. We need weapons. Like our backfield's all right. It's pretty good. We got some guys there, but we need other help. Like we need receivers and we need more tight ends.
Yeah, so, it'll be, and I'm sure we'll
line's
have,
decent.
After this week, we'll have next week we'll have the aftermath. So we'll have a kind of a bye week between the conference finals and the Super Bowl itself. So we'll have some time to talk about, this kind of stuff. There's a lot of quarterbacks moving around this year. You got Matthew Stafford. You probably have Carson Wentz moving.
Watson wants out.
You can say whatever you want. You have Watson moving out. Do the 49ers stick it out with Jimmy G? Probably not.
Do they cut him? Exactly.
Do they cut him? You go down through the list. There's so many places that need quarterbacks now. Indy obviously is going to need a quarterback. Do the Saints, do they stick it out with Jameis Winston? Is that what they're going to do now, right?
Do they draft a quarterback?
Yeah, do they draft a quarterback?
Do they go with Tyson Hill and just draft a quarterback? That's very interesting.
There's just so many different guys out there.
So many storylines.
Yeah, like I said, it's obviously some guys, like you can say Trevor Lawrence is going, to the Jags. The Jets, do they move on from Sam Darnold?
Do they trade down? Do they keep Sam Darnold and trade down?
So there's so
these
many.
are all exciting if you're football fans generally.
Yeah.
These are all exciting storylines.
Do the Broncos, do they stick with Drew Lock? Do they trade the Bears? What are they going to do with, they're not going to bring back Mitch Trubisky. Like there's
I
just
can't see it.
So many things. Carolina.
If you look at Bears fans, I hate to say it to you. If you look at his wins, they're all against shitty teams.
Yeah, no shit.
If you look at Nick Trubisky play against good teams, he loses every goddamn time.
Trevor,
hence in the playoffs.
Trevor,
he only had Breeze, and Breeze wasn't even at his best.
He had 2 completions over 20 yards, Trevor. Do you know when
it's not good?
He had 2 completions all year, Trevor, over 20 yards or 30 yards. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 20 yards. The last one, the second one he had was the last play that he had for the Bears, which was that touchdown, that one-handed grab that Jimmy Graham had for the meaningless touchdown against the Saints. So you had 2 passes over 20 air yards all season. I understand you were benched for half of it. Doesn't matter. You should have more than 20 air yards for more than 2 passes completed. I think he went 2 for 5. That is right there enough reason to get rid of that freaking guy. But anyways, we'll move on from that. Like I said, lots of stuff to go on. I just wanted to bring on the Matty Stafford thing. I hope he goes somewheres. Whether he goes to the Colts, whether he goes to,
another good destination for him. Yep.
Yeah. You imagine him with the Colts behind that O-line with all those weapons.
No, it'd be exciting.
There's a whole lot going on.
And they've got some receivers there on like New England, right? Yeah. And they got a couple good tight ends.
So Trevor, do you want to start NFC or do you want to start AFC for the?
Let's go NFC.
NFC. Haven't talked.
You started off.
Started off. So
go with who you're going with, and then tell me why.
Yes, I got you. Trevor's over here on friggin' Tinder, I'm sure. Just looking.
No, I'm not actually.
Swiping right, swiping left. Trying to find.
I'm not. I haven't been on it for a long time. Well, I'm still on it, but I haven't been I haven't opened it up and swiped.
The boy trying to find love in code red is.
I'm not finding any love anywhere. It's
I just fucking
just getting a podcast photo.
I know. There you go. So yeah, it is Tom Brady, the GOAT, versus what could be the greatest arm that we've ever seen in the NFL. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is in that conversation now too, but for a long time, probably the most arm talent out of anybody else in the league, which is Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be the MVP of the league when all is said and done for the year. He just had that good of a year. The defense isn't playing well. Devontae Adams looks like the best receiver in all of football. He put up 18 touchdowns, I think, or 19 touchdowns in 14 games this year. Really, I think it's like 13 and a half games because he missed half a game, the game that he got injured in. Tanyan's looking good. They got the running game going with Dillon and Williams and Jones, and they just have so many things going on. It's a shame that David Bakhtiari, the left tackle that they paid a ton of money to, that he's injured. But, it is what it is. At least he got paid beforehand. And then on the other hand, you have, I just laid it out for the Packers and what they got. They decided to get Tom Brady, obviously his first year in Tampa. They drafted an offensive lineman. They probably have the dirtiest O-line in the league. Like, they are just mean and angry, and they take shots at like corners and stuff like after the play, and
love it.
Oh my God, it is what it is. They have
playing ball.
They have so many players that came there this year for so little because they wanted to win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady in Tampa. So they have that going for them, all these veterans and all these guys.
The GOAT.
That are taking a smaller salary to kind of make it work. Tom himself, obviously, taking a smaller salary to make it work because he can. Because his wife makes $150 million a year. So what is?
She's a beauty too.
What does his $20 million really matter? And to me, I think it just comes down to quarterback play is the big thing for me on this one. And I just don't think Tom Brady has looked that good. I understand people are going to say, you're crazy. Tom Brady, to me this year, he's looked okay, but he's also had the best receivers in the league. He's had a really good offensive line. And the times he's looked the best is when his running game has been carrying it for him for the most part. Ripping off big gains, everything else. I also don't think his arm strength's there either. People can say whatever they want. It is what it is. But
he's not watching the tape, people. He's not watching the tape.
I'm watching the tape. People talk about
such a hater.
People talk about the Patriots and how they're junk this year. Did nobody watch the Patriots for the second half of last year? You guys were dog shit for the second half of last year.
Exactly what we were.
And Tom Brady was afraid to throw the pick at the end of the game every time, and he literally turned it.
Listen to this guy.
He's not a true warrior like Mr. Phillip Rivers.
He's a true warrior.
Cares about his stats a little bit too much. But anyways, I'm going with Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna take it home. He's gonna win the NFC.
The 37-year-old. He's going with the 37.
Yeah, instead of the 43-year-old. No, I think Aaron Rodgers. I think he looks really good. It's in Lambeau. Obviously, that's not going to matter for the Bucs, and obviously that kind of even leads a little better for the Bucs because you're going to have, the run game. Which if they can get Ronald Jones, people talk about Leonard Fournette. I'm tired of Leonard Fournette talk. He's not that great.
Jones is the better running back there, people.
Jones
Hands
is the man.
down.
Jones is putting up some crazy stats over there. But yeah, to me, I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty. I think they're going to win by. Tampa might get a garbage touchdown at the end of it, but I think they're going to win by 17 points, something like
Wrong.
that. So we'll wait.
All right, keys to the game, people.
Keys to the game.
Wisconsin here, so that's huge. There will be limited fans in the stands, I believe, for Green Bay, which helps. They've got the younger quarterback out there, the 37-year-old Rodgers. The keys to the game: slow down Devontae if you're the Bucs defense. Other keys to the game: get to Aaron Rodgers, get him running around, get him on the ground, smack him around a little bit. It's gonna be cold, you're in Wisconsin, okay? That also favors the Green Bay. It's gonna be cold. They're playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, known for their good weather. Be very interested to see how it goes for Tommy. Tommy is very used to the cold, hasn't seen much of it this year, obviously, playing in Tampa Bay. For them to be successful in this game, it's not all about Tom Brady. The Bucs defense needs to show up. Aaron Rodgers needs to be on his backside, needs to be harassed. They need to double coverage Devontae. They need to make every other person, tight ends, receivers, running backs, beat them. Also, they need to slow down Jones. I think Dylan's banged up, so they'll see Jones and Williams, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You need to slow these fuckers down, especially Jones. When Jones gets going early, he's dangerous. He's a good running back. He's underrated. For the Green Bay defense, same thing. Get Tommy off his spot. If you can get pressure in the middle of the pocket, just look at the Giants. They got 2 Super Bowl rings because of it. You get Tommy off his spot, he's in trouble. You get him running around, he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers, or Josh
Allen.
And just any of the other quarterbacks are more mobile. So let's just keep that in mind. Keys to the game for Tampa: can they run the ball a little bit? A little less thinking for Tom. He can just get it out there, hand it off. That helps, right? More manage the sticks for both teams. That's the key. Getting third down in friendly situations. I'm talking 5 yards or less. Just easier plays, right? Aaron Rodgers can take off for 5 yards very easily. I know he can take off for 10 yards very easily. Tom, not so much. It's been done before, but that's just not his strength, right? That's all I'm saying, people. For Tom Brady and the Bucs on offense, run the ball, establish that. Like Eric said, they got a pretty good offensive line. Smack the defense in the line in the mouth. You got to watch out for both Smiths. There's another outside linebacker I think is deadly. I do not know his name at the moment.
Gary out of Michigan.
Yes, that's who it is.
Gotcha.
He rotates in for 91. The other for 91 Smith a lot. He's very crucial to their success here. I like Tampa. I think Tampa's got the edge of the linebackers, but it does not matter if you do not play press coverage on Devontae. Get in his face. Get your hands on him within that 5 yards and double cover him. They're going to beat you. Period. For the Bucs, They've already come out and said Brown will not play, which is a blow. But you got to remember, Tom Brady early in the year was hitting Miller, and there's another no-name receiver.
Tyler Johnson, the rookie out of Minnesota.
Yeah, he's good too. He's not the other guy I was thinking of, but there's another white boy he was hitting. But no, you're right, Johnson.
No way. Tom Brady finding the white boy receiver.
Oh, I know. He's deadly. Like, he makes no-name guys like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, Tom must be throwing the ball to him. Doesn't matter, but there'll be other guys for the Bucs that will step up. Evans is crucial here, I think, when it comes to the red zone, and I think you'll see a little more Bronk.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'd like to see them go, honestly, a little bit more double tight end because they got the tight ends, man. That team is.
Yeah, you get Cameron Brate and
like
you get Gronk.
Eric hit it on the money, man. The offensive line for the Bucs need to be physical, and they've got. I almost want to give Green Bay's defense just a slight edge here. Like the Bucs, they got so much talent on their defense, but man, they can get gouged for big plays a lot. They can blown coverages like. As many, I know last week you had 3 interceptions and they were huge, but you just don't, from week to week, the Bucs are kind of, they got a lot of good pieces on their defense. They should be a lot better than what they are, but it is what it is. And you're playing Aaron Rodgers. So if you get them running around, Aaron Rodgers can make you break down. Yeah. Devontae Adams, they do their thing very well. So I'm very excited. Since Eric took the Packers, which I probably would give the edge here, I'm going to go with the Bucs, and I'm going to go with Tommy until he loses. So I'll go with Tommy here in the Buccaneers. Even though my heart tells me that most likely, I think, and I'm kind of hoping Aaron Rodgers gets to the big show and he wins another one of the prize rings. So I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers get another one. He deserves it. He's played awesome this year. So, not to say that Tom hasn't in Tampa Bay, but, either way, I'm going to be happy. Because, like I said, I'd like to see Rodgers get another one. Brady gets to the show again. That's awesome. I'd love to see him win with Tampa, just, to one off Belichick, fuck you, Belichick. But, they've sold out there in New England. So I think between the two of them, there should be no hard feelings. You've won 6 championships.
Yeah.
What is there to talk about?
Exactly.
Let's get to the other game, Eric. So
I want to stop you there for 2 seconds.
Raj,
I want to stop you
there.
And
I've got
stop.
TB.
Yeah, stop for 2 seconds. God,
give her.
Let me finish it. Gee, I'm the host here. You let me dictate.
I'm breaking it down, Eric. The fans want more of the T-Rev.
Oh
okay?
my God, that's
Lord Tundran.
It's all over the Twitters and the Instagrams. They're all.
I don't have Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
thank
Twitter.
God.
I'm just joking.
I know.
If you guys haven't yet, make sure you like Instagram. And our Twitter. Our Twitter is From the Bench YT, as in YouTube, and our Instagram is just From the Bench. So make sure you guys like that stuff. If you haven't yet, also, I'd always recommend every Tuesday of this entire season, Aaron Rodgers has gone on to the Pat McAfee show. You can check it on YouTube and everything else. It is so awesome to just see, because it's not your typical, and I may have mentioned this before, it's not your typical interview. It's not your, hi, Aaron. This is John Smith from Channel 9 News.
This is Joe Blow.
I just want to know, what were you thinking when you
dumped Danica Patrick?
Yeah, what were you thinking when you made that pass there? It's so much better. It's so much more relaxed. It's so much he's just sitting back. He's drinking. Drinking a little whiskey. He's just having a good time, and he's really letting loose. And if you guys have a chance, go check it out, because it's just nice to see interviews like that. It's why people like Spittin' Chicklets. It's why people like the Pat McAfee show. It's because they're not so afraid, and they know the reporter's not trying to put them in a position to watch them fuck up and watch them say something they shouldn't.
100%.
So that's one of those things. But as I said, make sure you go check that out if you haven't, because it's opened my eyes to, and I always liked Aaron Rodgers anyways, but it's just opened my eyes of how good of a guy that guy is. So it is.
Shout out Katie Thompson.
Yeah. So next one.
Packers. That's why I'm shutting her out.
Oh, okay. Katie Thompson? Is that what you said? Oh, Katie Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Mark's? Oh.
Yes.
Katie Thomas.
Mark's wife.
Not Thompson. Thomas.
Did I say Thompson?
You said Thompson.
Thomas. My bad.
Surprise, surprise. Trevor
I had a
Ward.
stiff whiskey.
Trevor messed up a last name.
Number 2.
Yeah, there you go. Looking
Eddie,
like,
I love you. It's all good.
looking like Aaron Rodgers out there with his.
You too, Mark. I love you too, bro.
There you go.
Giving a shout out to the fam.
Hey, that's my fam right there.
Right.
Next game, we're gonna get off the Bucks and the Packers, and now we're going from the old guards. So we went from the GOAT, that 43-year-old, whatever it is, Tom Brady is now, and the 37-year-old, Aaron Rodgers. So these two guys,
the veterans,
and now you're going to Josh Allen, who's in his third year, Patrick Mahomes, who's in his fourth year. These are two young guys that are gonna be
young bucks
around the league for the next 10 to 15 years, right?
And could potentially be battling out to go to the Super Bowl every other year.
Because they both have two really smart franchises, right?
They did it the right way.
Yeah, the Bills are just and obviously Josh Allen has taken leaps and bounds from what anybody thought. I saw the potential of Josh Allen, but I just didn't see anything. He was so inaccurate. There was just so much stuff about him that kind of led you to be like, is this guy really ever going to put it together? Can I make this kind of work? And he's changed that completely this year. I know he worked on a lot of stuff in the offseason. He works with Jordan Palmer, I think it is. So he's
goes to show you, though, continuity. He's had the same offensive coordinator, and this helps you evolve. This helps you get to where you need to go.
He's about to lose that guy, though.
Did he get hired?
Not
I
yet.
can't remember. I saw he got interviewed.
He's gonna get hired. There's no doubt about that, though.
I don't know. There's only did the Eagles hire a coach yet? He went, I'm just putting you on the spot.
I don't remember.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it next episode. But I know the Lions have hired Greg Campbell, I believe, or Dan Campbell, one of the two. That was okay. Before we get into that game, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, Eric. I do not even want to watch the replay. Did you freeze on me? No, there you moved.
No.
That was the dumbest thing. Okay, so when they hire him, I'm kind of excited. Okay, so then they show the presser, and he's going off about biting. We're gonna bite kneecaps off and all this BS. Man, what in the hell? Who gives a that? It just makes me feel like they hired the wrong coach. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want to say about it.
He came in a little hot.
About the Bills.
He came in a little hot. Not gonna lie to you.
Stupid.
I'm pretty happy with our head coach. We got Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator. He's 38 years old. From the Rams. He's so smart. He had that defense looking like, it did have them as like the number one defense
revamped
all year.
Defense.
And he does so many smart things on the defensive side of the ball. You
guys hire an offensive coordinator?
Not yet, I don't think. I think he's looking at one of the guys from the Rams to bring over, but he hasn't I don't think he's hired anybody yet. But yeah, it's just somebody that's so smart. Like one of the podcasts I've listened to for years is Robert Mays. He used to be for Grantland and ESPN. Then he went to the Ringer with Bill Simmons when he started that, and now he's over at the Athletic. And Rob Mays is so smart, and he's such a great football mind, and he talks in length about Brandon Staley and how much he really likes him and how much everything that he brings to the game of football and the way he thinks about it. And a lot of his Vic Fangio style defenses, but with a twist on it, and just kind of bringing a little bit of innovation to the defensive end of the game. Obviously, you see a lot of innovation when it comes to the offensive side of the game, but on the defensive side, you usually don't typically see it. So it's nice to see. But anyways, getting off all that, we're going to the actual football game. Sidetracked like a motherfucker tonight.
Sorry, it's my fault.
It's a little bit on me too. So we get Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, two really good, well-run franchises, two young quarterbacks, and I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Fuck off! You're gonna screw my team over. Don't go with the Bills. Kryptonite. I could just Bills train just goes.
Yeah. Through a table
You're
for
jumping on
the
the
win.
bandwagon now.
Yeah.
Why, Lord Jesus, boy?
I like them more. I feel like, and I understand the Chiefs have consistently found a way to win, but the problem is they look like they're not engaged in the game. I've brought it multiple times. They just don't seem like they care. I think Josh Allen's gonna have enough to get it done. I know CEH is back they're supposed to be back for the Chiefs too. That being Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the running back for them, the rookie. But I gotta hope that they get a run game going for Josh Allen, but I just feel like that team, they do a lot of little things right, and as long as Brian Daboll doesn't get into his head, because
We're moving, Eric.
A lot of these guys
sounds like somebody's in my yard. Keep going. I'm listening.
We'll get this on the podcast if we if somebody's in the yard.
What the fuck? Somebody is in the yard. Whoa.
Fucking birthday.
Jesus, thank you.
You're welcome.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, we did.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm doing a pod right now. You're on the podcast. My cousin Alyssa just brought me a 12-pack for my birthday. The best. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Say hello to Luke. Love you guys. I'm going to go grab that because it's going to freeze.
Oh, that's awesome.
My neighborhood is just in chaos. The dogs are barking, Eric.
They like don't know what's going on.
So good. I just like grabbed that 12-pack and like I thought I was hearing things and so random. Our podcast, this is so random. I'm 34 years old. I'm old, people.
I'm not by the way, yeah, everyone. Let's get a little
Happy belated? Well, you already said happy birthday.
I know.
Earlier,
I did the other day. We were supposed to do this podcast a couple days ago and it didn't end up happening. And I had the plan and I was going to actually start the episode off by singing happy birthday to you.
The big 3-4.
Big 3-4. But no, I just think the Buffalo Bills get back on track for the 17th time. Shout out to Listen Luke though, by the way. But I just think that the Buffalo Bills, I think they got it, and I hope they do. I just hope that Daboll doesn't have what some of these guys do. They just get all worked up and like, okay, we're playing Patrick Mahomes. We got to do this. Just play your game. You've been so good all year long.
You attack those fuckers. They're a lot alike. They're similar. Like, I'll give the edge in the run game. Buffalo had more of a run game, I find, previous years. I don't know what happened there. Doesn't matter. They've got guys that can like they got 3 or 4 guys I've already mentioned, like McKenzie, Davis.
Well, they have Zach Moss, the rookie, but he's been injured. I don't know if he's going to play this game.
He was hurt last game. He didn't play.
They got Devin Singletary too.
And Singletary's really good. He's a receiver threat too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he gets enough credit for, but they have explosive receivers. They can do it all. They can do the screens. They're going to take shots. Josh Allen, everybody knows he's got an awesome arm, just like Mahomes. So it's going to be very interesting. The reason I like the Bills too is because I really like I just like their defense better. Like with Kansas City, obviously you got the Honey Badger. You've got Jones on the D line, who they don't talk enough about, but he is a beauty.
He is.
They've got decent linebackers there, and their corners are so like they're pretty good. Like I shouldn't say so like they're good, but I just feel like the Bills have more legit guys. Like White, for example, their cornerback is, to me, he's top 5 in the league. So you put him on your best receiver but can they slow Kelsey down? Can you slow Kelsey down? I just like I like the Bills. I like their defense. I'm hoping for Bills fans, I like the Bills, but my team's the Pats. So I know what we've done to them for fucking couple decades here now. And any team that's went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and lost, God, I just want to see them get back there and get her done. I love Josh Allen. Eric knows, like I really liked him coming out of uni. Don't ask me why. I only watched him play in, I think, university college couple games.
Yeah, for Wyoming.
I watch a lot of college, but they don't have I think it's North Dakota. They don't have him on the tube. I'm very speaking of that.
He played for Wyoming.
Was it Wyoming?
Yeah, because it was Carson Wentz that played for North Dakota.
Oh yes, thank you. You're totally right. So, anyways, I'm very so I don't know. I'm a huge fan. It's good to see him. Like Eric said, he took 2 or 3 steps this year. Oh God, like his accuracy is just 100%. So much better than it was. Just it's awesome. They got Stephon Diggs to go out. They spend that first round draft pick, and let me tell you, man, that is why if you've got a young guy who you know what he is in the league already, and you throw a first round, that is a legitimate move there. You give them a first round draft pick. That is just like with Chicago when they get Mac, like Cleus Mac, you know what he is.
Yeah.
He's a stud, like, you know, so just like it's just like when you have a first round pick, people, it doesn't mean you're gonna hit every time.
No, and obviously the Minnesota Vikings, they hit on theirs, right? They hit with Jefferson, but they could have drafted Jalen Reagor.
That's right.
They could have hit Jalen Reagor instead, who the Eagles took right before him, and instead of Jefferson, right? And all of a sudden you're dealing with Jalen Reagor, and the Vikings pick looked like, holy, you gave up Stephon Diggs for this guy. There's enough about it. But
Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs is
and I got laughed at in a couple fantasy drafts where I took Diggs. People are laughing at me. They're like, oh, blah, blah, Buffalo's not going to do nothing. I was like, you guys don't know football because I've been watching Buffalo for years, and you could see last year and the year before, even before, like his second year in the league, Josh Allen, where they were giving New England fits. And New England had sick defenses at this, and they were pushing New England to the point where we were almost losing to them. So, you know, I've seen it coming. So I just love that. I love their aggressiveness. I think first of all, let's get to the root of the thing. Both these teams have outstanding coaches.
Yep.
Outstanding coaches. Like Andy Reid last year won his first Super Bowl. It's mind-boggling that he didn't have one before then. So if Kansas City beats Buffalo, goes to the ship again this year and wins, I will be happy for them. You know, like Kansas City has been starving for years, and they finally win a Super Bowl. They break through, win a Super Bowl last year. They could easily go back-to-back. I don't want to see them go back-to-back because the last team to go back-to-back, New England. And no, it has not been in this decade. It was in the previous decade.
Yeah.
For you that don't know football. But that's not even Tommy was really good either. Just going to throw it out there.
No.
But anyways, Tommy's best season is when they lost and went 18-1. Hands down.
100%.
But anyways, to get back on track here, I just prefer their defense. I like Buffalo's defense. They're not as good as they were in previous years, but they're good enough. They're better. I find they're better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I'm pretty sure me and Eric are pounding this home though. Like, if KC runs the ball, they got a little bit. I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit on Buffalo. That'd be wise too, because I think if you tie out those offensive linemen, Mahomes will do his thing,
and
it'll help them.
Let's be honest here.
Quarterback
Kansas City is the favorite here, and there's a very good chance that Kansas City wins this.
They could for sure.
I understand we're talking a lot about Buffalo here, and don't get us wrong, and don't have us thinking that we think that Casey's a joke team or a terrible team. Okay, they're not the Bucks here. They're not a terrible team with an old washed up quarterback. So it's
KC's got weapons everywhere.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's all right. Not as good as it used to be.
No.
But Buffalo's got dinged up offensive line too, so they're not great either. But they got lots of weapons. Like I said, Travis Kelce's no slouch.
No, Travis Kelce's the best. Travis Kelce's
if he has his way in the middle of the field, they will win this game.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's a top two, tight end. Can be him or Kittle, whichever way. He's
everybody talks about Kittle. Kittle's awesome, but Travis. I'm a big. I hate to say this, and Eric knows this. I'm a big AFC fan. I have been my whole life. I don't know. I'm just a big believer in it. Like, I love that league. And Travis Kelce, man, he's in the AFC. It's a beauty.
And they got Tyreek Hill. Obviously, he's a piece of shit.
So, you know what I don't like about him, Eric? And I hate that. Like, I think he's an awesome player.
I think he's a great football player.
So what's he get that? He gets that first down. Remember that in the fourth round? Like, you were talking about that play? And then he goes to the camera and he's going on like, oh my God, man, I'm sorry, but wow, man. Like, can you be professional and pretend like you've done it before?
And he pushed a coach at
one
point.
it's so disappointing.
He pushed a coach at one point and everything else. Like, I think the guy's just a joke of a human being. Not so much.
I don't respect that, right? Like, that's all we're saying.
I don't know. I don't think
he's a great fucking player.
I don't respect him for everything he's done off the field and all that other stuff.
I respect Travis Kelce.
But yeah, Travis Kelce showed it him.
You're a beauty.
Patrick Mahomes, you're a beaut. There's obviously a lot of guys
Love the hair.
There's Hardman there for the Chiefs. They have so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and they're so quick and they're so fast, and they get open and they use all the motions. They do everything so right, and it's just one of those things. I think they get it. I think they probably win, but I just wanted to go with the Bills because I like the Bills, and hoping that this year is a
trying
little
to,
different.
Eric's trying to screw me over. That's what's going on.
It is what it is. But no, I think both sides are good. Obviously, the secondary for the Chiefs, it goes both ways.
They're hit or miss.
Yeah.
They're hit or miss.
And like I said, they've had a really good, I think it's Steve Sarkisian over there. I think that's who the defensive coordinator is. He's done a lot of...
Isn't it a Magnolo or the guy who beat New England?
No, it's not. No, how are you thinking?
Yes, it is.
No.
It's a Steve, look it up. Steve Mandolo or Steve...
Kansas
I know,
City.
I know I'm right.
Chiefs.
I know I'm right.
You
Steve
don't have
Mandolo or something.
You don't have the names right. How can you be right?
Is Steve Mandolo or Steve?
Oh my God.
I'm right. What's his name?
I'm trying to find it here. I'm trying to type it out. Defensive. This is great.
Just ask Siri. Don't be cute about it.
This is Steve Spagnuolo.
Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was close.
You said
Magdolo,
Steve.
I was saying, or something like that.
You're like Mangdolo.
But anyways, he was the defensive coordinator, fun fact, for the Giants when they beat New England.
Well, there you go.
At least the second time. I don't know if he was the first time, but fun fact.
There you go. No, he's
I don't remember stupid shit like this. Don't ask me why, people.
just
It's
not
important to me
just
some
not
years.
the last names in any way, shape, or form.
If I don't hear it repeatedly, people, I will not. I don't know why.
This is what I have to deal with.
Doesn't even matter.
I gotta have Trevor yelling at me. I'm right. I'm like, you don't even know the last name. You can't be right if you're not saying the last name.
I'm right. I'm right.
But
You just wasted minutes.
I said, I think it's the Packers. I'm going with the Packers in the NFC. I think that's not even just what I think. I think that's what I think, and that's what I hope for. I'm hoping for the Bills.
I hope for the Bucs. I'm going with the Bucs. I'm hoping for the Bucs. Realistically, my gut is telling me Aaron Rodgers will pull it off.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because I don't think the Bucs defense will stop Devontae. But I hope they will. Because if they stop Devontae, they stop Green Bay. Anyways, moving on. I think
too many whiskeys.
and I hope Buffalo will make it happen for me. I think I got the better defense. Already stated that. We'll see how it goes. If Mahomes and them get by, which they very well could,
Yeah.
I'll be all right with that too.
Yeah.
Either way, I think me and Eric, can we agree? The 4 quarterbacks that are left, it's exciting.
Yeah, there's a story behind every single one of them, right? Whether
Exactly.
It's a first one for Josh Allen, a second one for Patrick Mahomes in 2 years. Does Brady get his 7th? Does Aaron Rodgers get his second after an MVP year at 37? Probably looking.
And he's going to get it.
So, there's so many pieces and parts to this that it's nice, and it's not like it's the Baltimore Ravens here or a team that doesn't deserve to be here. It's all 4 teams that we thought there's a good chance of them being here at the start.
They're all
of the year.
sexy.
Yeah,
They all got the sexy quarterback, is what I'm saying. Like, if Tennessee's here, Tannehill, not so sexy. Like, he's been better the last couple of years in Tennessee,
but it's not sexy.
But he's just not as sexy.
No.
That's all we're saying.
It is what it is. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you're on whatever you're listening on, make sure to hit that like, that subscribe, that follow, whatever it is, so you guys can get notifications when we have a podcast. On YouTube, obviously, there's other videos that are going on over there too, if you want to go check those out. Lots of things going on for all of you guys. We love sports. We understand that sometimes we don't get the podcast out exactly when we should, and that is on us.
I'm sorry. We've been busy with our lives, like with work and shit. For both of us, it's we apologize, but we are only human, and we do the best we can.
And this is a pastime for us, right? We enjoy it. We love it. We look forward to it every week and doing it. But sometimes it's just Trevor gets up for work at 4:30 every day during the week.
I've woke up literally, Eric, fun fact, woke up on my couch twice this week, feeling like, damn it, did I even see 5 minutes of the game? It happens.
So we're not.
Life is for real.
It makes it harder for us when it comes to doing podcasts late. Obviously, Trevor also works till 7:00 at night. So by the time he gets home at 7:30, he wants to have a bite to eat and everything else. It doesn't give us a whole lot of time to do it throughout the week. So that's sometimes why if we're going to do it, essentially we have until like 9 o'clock. So usually it's like that 7:30 to 9 o'clock range. And then Trevor has to go to bed if Trevor's had a rough day or he's just beat for some reason, or if I'm working, right? If I have work too, if I'm working, then it sometimes just doesn't work out. But that's our reasoning. It's not an excuse. It's just what it is, people. But
we love it, people. We love getting out at you. We love arguing, spatting at each other. He going on about Colorado. Me be like, Colorado. And he's like, your Leafs suck. Yeah. And I'm like, Colorado suck. I never said that about Colorado.
And then I'm like,
shout out Joe Sakic. I love you.
Overrated piece of anyways.
He does hate Brady.
I do hate Brady.
I get a kick out of it.
I hate Brady and the Pats.
I didn't hate on Phillip, bro.
Hey,
but that's all right.
That's okay. You're the better man. But I definitely am not. I'm definitely not taking the high road on Tom Brady anytime soon.
I like when he chirps my teams. I do. I do.
But yeah, that's gonna
it's all about competition, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we really appreciate all you guys liking, subscribing, listening. It means a lot. Like I said, you guys don't have to have us in your rotation, and you choose to. Or if you found us for the first time, we appreciate that too. If you did find us for the first time, you're still here, good on you. I just want to say.
That's right. Recommend us to your friends that like football and hockey. Because, man, we're going to get into some hockey here soon, too, people.
But this has also been
coming toward the end.
This has been a shit show of a podcast. We've gone on.
This has been a wicked podcast. Are you kidding me? The last 2 episodes have been unreal.
They have been unreal. But we've also gone off on 40,000 tangents throughout the whole thing. So, anyways,
that's why we do the pod.
Yeah, that's why we do it. Our thing here is just to shoot the shit. But like I said, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and for Eric, this is us signing out.
Keep your stick on the ice, people.
Bye, guys.